Hi, this is Laura Folger, and today I'm making a video for MemoryBox featuring design adhesives. For those of you who aren't familiar with design adhesives, they are a product made by Clearsnap, and they come in a large variety of different themes. For today's video, though, I'm going to focus on adhesives made for the MemoryBox collection, which is an assortment of designs that are meant to work with MemoryBox images. When you get your package of adhesives, it will come with 4 sheets inside, and one thing to keep in mind is that the picture of the design adhesive and the one that you get in the pack are a little bit different in size. This one, Flourish, is actually about this size in real life, so it's just something to keep in mind. The design adhesives themselves are double-sided, so they will stick onto whatever surface you want to put them on, and they're strong enough that they will hold all kinds of things. You can add glitter or flocking, embossing powders, gold flakes, foils, those sorts of things. So now that I've told you a little bit about what design adhesives are, I'd like to show you how to use them, and I'd like to give you some ideas of what to do with them. For our first project, we're going to add some design adhesive to a card. This is all done on paper, and for the first card we're doing, I used the MemoryBox Halloween collage, and you can see that's pretty much the whole image. I stamped it onto cream paper using black VersaFine ink, and then I distressed the edges of it using my pumice stone distress ink and a blending tool. Once you do that, you need to make sure you let this dry completely so that your design adhesive will stick to the card. If you don't, you won't get a good impression. And for this one, I cut out one of the cobweb design adhesives, and let me see, I nicked it just so that I could find the starting point. There it is. When you peel the cover off, you just want to be nice and gentle to make sure that you don't break the image when you're peeling it off the paper. And because it's a transparent image on the sticker, you're able to see where you want it to go, which is kind of nice. You can place it exactly where you want. And this part's probably really hard for you to see, but I'm just pressing down with my finger to make sure I transfer the design adhesive onto my card. And once again, when I'm peeling the backing off, I want to go nice and slow and gentle so that I don't take any of my design adhesive off of there. So there we go. Now for this card that I did, I don't know how well you can see it, but I just added the cobweb so that I could add a little bit of glitter and a little bit of perfect pearls. So to do that, I now have a sticky surface, and I added some crystal glitter, and this part you're not going to see very well just because it is pretty much clear. But I'm going to tap that off and use a brush to get rid of my extra glitter. And again, you're just going to have to trust me at this point that there's a cobweb and that it's glittery. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of perfect pearls in purple. That's kind of hard to say. But I'm just going to add it to the cobweb so that it stands out better. Just having the glitter alone on that surface, you didn't really see it that well. So I added my perfect pearls to the top, and now, if you can see, I have a glittery web added with a little bit of purple. I also have some areas where my web went over the spider, and I don't think I want to have that. So what I'm going to do is just use my nail and pull off the design adhesive that's in places where I don't want it to be. So I'm going to get rid of it off of the body of the spider and just clean that up a little bit. Once that's done, all I did was add some gunmetal stickles to the bodies of the spider so they stood out a little bit better. I put it on some MemoryBox paper, and I added a few brads. And that's all there is to that. For the first card we did, we used our design adhesive onto just regular paper, and that works great. But where design adhesives really shine is using them on surfaces that are traditionally kind of hard to stamp on. So for this card, we're going to put design adhesives on acetate. In particular, this is some pre-printed acetate that I got from Hambly. I added my design adhesives to the corner, and before I peel those off, I'm just going to rub it gently with an old dryer sheet. Pardon me. An old dryer sheet works well because it's not quite as scratchy as a new one, and it won't damage the acetate. But by doing that, I'm hoping to get rid of some of the extra static on my piece. Again, be real gentle when you're taking away the backing. And then you're just going to add some gold flakes to the piece. And at first it's going to look really awful, but just trust me, it's going to end up okay. When you store your gold flakes, I have them in a container that I also wipe down with a dryer sheet just to, again, try to get rid of some static. And as long as you have a little bit of gold flake on top of all the surface, you'll be fine at the end. So I think that's pretty good. Now the only trick is removing all the gold flakes, and to do that I pick up the majority of them with my fingers and put them back in the case, and then I'm going to use an eyebrow brush and get rid of any loose flakes that might be on there. And when I'm done, I'm going to collect all these flakes back up and put them back in the container, because you might as well use all of it. And when I watch people removing excess with a brush, they're often pretty gentle, but you can use quite a bit of pressure on that to get rid of all the extra little bits. Again, remember, save all this, you're going to put that back. To get rid of the rest, I'm just going to use my dryer sheet again to rub away some of the excess. And then to finish it, I'm just going to use a standard paper towel. Don't put this back down on your paper, it'll pick up all those gold flakes. Use a regular paper towel and then just brush away anything that remains. Now you could put this onto your card as is, but I find if you flip it over and you have this acetate protecting your gold foil, it works even better. So once I have this piece, I just attached it to my card using some brads. I put it on top of some memory box black paper and added one of the new crows. And it's a pretty dynamic card, but you can see it didn't take any time at all to make. Now that you have the basics of design adhesives down, I'd like to show you a couple other projects. This is a card that I made using several sizes of snowflake design adhesives. I added some crystal glitter to the top and finished it with some diamond jewels by Memory Box. This is a card I made a while back where I created a border with design adhesives and added a whole heck of a lot of glitter. And the nice thing about the design adhesives is they're strong enough that once I removed the extra glitter with a brush, I was able to do this without having glitter come off on me. And I really appreciate that. This is a napkin ring holder that I made. There's a set of 4 of them that I got at a dollar store. I started by adding the leaves and embossing them in green. Once the embossing powder was completely cool, I added the berry design adhesive and embossed that in red embossing powder. And finally, I made a set of votive holders. This one is fuzzy. I used black flocking for it. This one is sparkly. I used black glitter. And these are just sort of an example of why design adhesives let you do things that maybe stamping wouldn't. This is a curved glass surface that would be really hard to stamp on. But with design adhesives, it was really easy to just place it onto the glass and then add whatever I wanted on top. So that's it. I hope this inspired you to try out some design adhesives, and thank you so much for watching my video.